Murdoch was feeling like his old self again. Duke of Gloucestershire was an old friend of his who worked alongside him back on British Railways. The Fat Controller had made arrangements for the Duke to pay a visit, after Emily had told him what Murdoch had told her. Now the two giants of steam were talking just like the old days. But one morning, as the two engines were being cleaned and fired up, Murdoch asked a quick question. "So how did you survive?" he asked. "Well," began the Duke, "when I was withdrawn from service I rusted away to scrapyard at Barry, until some rail enthusiasts purchased and restored me. Modifications had been made to my chimney and firebed internal dampers, as they were too small and couldn't make me breathe properly. Nowadays I work on the main line, pulling express trains." Murdoch was impressed and was just about to reply when at that moment the Fat Controller arrived. "Good morning!"
"Good morning, sir,"
they said together. "Now, Murdoch, you are to take slow goods up to Wellsworth at 8 o'clock, and Duke of Gloucestershire, you will be taking the express, as Gordon is currently stuck by broken points." "Yes, sir," replied Murdoch.
"We won't let you down, sir,"
added the Duke. And with that the Fat Controller walked away, satisfied with the big engine's words.
"Who's Gordon?"
the Duke asked. "He's a Pacific that pulls the express," Murdoch explained. "He's rather vain and pompous, and is one to watch out for."
"Is he now? Well, I'll make sure I'll put him in his place,"
smiled the Duke confidently, and rolled away to collect the express with a chuckle. Emily was at the station as the Duke backed down onto the train.
"Good morning,"
she said cheerily.
"Good morning, Emily. Lovely day, isn't it?"
"It certainly is. But where's Gordon?"
"He's currently stuck by faulty points, I believe, so I'll be taking over his express."
"I see."
"Oh, that's my guard's whistle. I best be off. Goodbye, Emily."
"Bye."
The Duke thundered down the line, whistling to engines as he went by.
"This is the life,"
he said happily. Further up the line, Gordon was waiting with a goods train, grumbling dreadfully.
"Come on, what's taking so long?"
His driver was becoming tired of the engines complaining.
"Stop complaining, grumbling won't get us out of here any faster."
Suddenly the rails beside him began to shake as the sound of 4 cylinders working hard whistled and roared past him with a full train.
"Who on earth was that?"
cried Gordon, startled by the engine's speed. At long last, Gordon was free from the point and backed into the shed, where he found Murdoch talking to the mysterious newcomer.
"Oh, hello, you must be Gordon. My name is Duke of Gloucestershire. I'm sorry if I startled you earlier on." "Startled? You scared the living daylight out of me,"
replied Gordon bluntly.
"Also, by curiosity, why were you pulling my express?"
"Because I told him to," said a familiar voice. The engines looked down to see the Fat Controller standing in front of them. "Someone needed to take the train, Gordon, and since Henry and James are busy with their own work, I decided to let the Duke take it. On the topic of work, that reminds me, you need to collect slow goods from Tidney, so off you go, please." Gordon rolled his eyes and rumbled away. The Fat Controller then turned to the Duke. "Well done on pulling the express, Duke of Gloucestershire. You certainly did a fine job."
"Thank you, sir. I try my best."
"As a reward, I'd like to offer you a special trade up to the other railway." The Duke smiled happily.
"Yes, sir, I would love that. Thank you, sir, I won't let you down."
"I know you won't," chuckled the Fat Controller. He tipped his hat and walked away. Meanwhile, James had been told to shunt the Pullman coaches in preparation for the Duke. He didn't mind doing this type of work, anything's better than pushing trucks, but for the Pullman coaches he had a high respect. He found the coaches all clean and polished as they always were.
"They're all yours, James," called the workman. "Come on then, my lovelies."
So James was coupled up and pulled away. However, the workman had forgotten that the first and brake coaches were due to be sent to the works for faulty couplings and brakes. Emily knew this and steamed into the yards to find them missing.
Where are the Pullman coaches? Have they gone to the works?
No, I told James to take them to the station for Duke of Gloucestershire. Emily gasped.
Oh no! I must stop him!
And she hurried away. At the station, James shunted the coaches into the platform.
"They look marvellous," said James. "It's a shame that a red engine like me isn't pulling them." "Oh, James," replied Murdoch, "the world doesn't revolve around you."
Oh, I suppose not this morning.
"I'll see you later, Murdoch." "Looking forward to the journey, Duke?" "You bet I am, chap,"
smiled the Duke as he was coupled up to the train and brake pipes connected.
"I can't wait to start. Get in quickly, please. You'll be at the other railway in no time."
The passengers boarded and the guard blew his whistle. With a roar, the Duke slowly eased out of the station, just as Emily arrived on the other platform.
Stop! Stop!
"Why, what for?" answered Murdoch.
Those coaches haven't been checked!
"What do you mean?"
The coaches he's pulling were supposed to have a replacement coupling and brakes mended today, but some stupid bugger told James to take them here.
"Oh no, you mean they aren't safe?" cried Murdoch. "Duke, wait!"
But he was too late. The Duke had gone. Meanwhile, the Duke puffed along the line, unaware of what was to happen next. When he reached the top of Gordon's Hill, the weight of the train began to strain on the coupling, and, of course, with a crack, it broke. All of a sudden, the coaches started moving on their own, slowly but faster and faster down the slope. The Duke was completely unaware.
"That's funny, my train suddenly feels a lot lighter," he wondered.
His driver noticed it too and looked back. "Blooming heck, we need to speed up, the coaches are after us!" And putting full throttle on the regulator, the Duke started to go faster, but the coaches were matching their speed. "We need to apply the brakes," shouted the fireman, "and injure all those passengers on board. No chance," replied the driver.
"Let the coaches come to me," shouted the Duke urgently. "Put the brakes on the instant they hit my buffers."
The crew didn't like the plan, but reluctantly agreed. The coaches came closer and closer as they came to the slope.
"Now!"
cried the Duke, and his driver slammed on the brakes. They screeched all the way to Maron Station and rolled to an unexpected stop. Luckily, the passengers weren't hurt, but were very confused on what had happened. "Well done, old boy," congratulated the driver. "You're a hero."
"Thank you," stuttered the Duke.
"So what happened?" asked the driver. "Surely that wasn't our fault." "The brakes weren't working," replied the guard, and he looked at the front coach. "And it seems the coupling wasn't fastened on right." The crew looked at what was supposed to be a coupling. "I'll call for another engine with a replacement coupling. Whoever did this is going to be in a whole lot of trouble." The Duke was uncoupled from the train, and Emily arrived with a replacement coupling. When it was fitted, she backed onto the train.
Bother that workman.
She grumbled.
I hope you are okay.
The Duke said nothing. He was too shaken up. When the Duke came back to the sheds, the other engines felt sorry for him.
"Are you all right?" asked Murdoch. "I'm fine, chap. Just a bit startled is all," the Duke replied.
Gordon tried to lighten the mood.
"Now you know how I felt when you passed me."
Nobody laughed, but fortunately for the awkward silence, the Fat Controller arrived.
"There's no need to worry. This could happen to any engine. I'm very pleased on how you've managed the situation." "Yes, sir," replied the Duke.
The next day it was time for the Duke of Gloucestershire to leave for home. "Come back and see us soon," the engines whistled.
"I'm sad to see you go," said Murdoch. "Don't worry, chap," the Duke replied. "I might be able to see you again. Every cloud has a silver lining."
Murdoch laughed. He was sure they would meet again. Puffing proudly out of the station, there was a roaring chorus of whistles and cheers for the Duke of Gloucestershire.